Now, the Africa CEO Forum started in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire on Monday with a call for African countries to open up their borders and trade a lot more with each other. Delegates there challenged heads of states to become effective CEOs of their nations, and they urged, in turn, the private sector to create more job opportunities. This is all stuff we've heard before. The conference, however, is also pushing for a review of education systems in order to meet the growing demand for skills right across the continent. Now, my colleague Uche Okoronkwo also did meet Cote d'Ivoire's budget minister, Abdourahmane Cisse, at the conference. They spoke about how the country managed to grow by 10.3% in 2015.
We had a good security in the country. Political stability, security-wise, everything was fine. And that's something quite important because investors don't come to a country where you have this kind of issue. So that was the first thing that the President Ouattara focused over the past 5 years. Second thing is the attractiveness of the business environment, because we did a lot to improve the business environment in Cote d'Ivoire. We have a new investment code. We reduced the creation cost of companies by more than 70%. You can create a company now in less than 24 hours at $30. We have a new mining code, a new electricity code, and all that. So that was something also quite important that we did in order to attract investment. And something also quite important is public investment. Because to develop a country, you basically need to invest. If you invest into current expenditures, you won't actually create growth. 6 years ago, there was less than 15%, 1/5, of the budget that was allocated to investment. Now, it's almost a third of the budget that is allocated to investment. So we basically reduce current expenditures in order to focus on investment, but investment that create growth and investment that actually improve the quality of life of the Ivorian. And that's actually all the different reasons why we have growth in the country.
When you talk about investment, what areas of the economy are you specifically referring to?
We spend 22% of the budget into education. So more than a fifth of the budget is allocated to education. And that's quite important for a country where you have around 80% of the population that have less than 35 years education. Second one is electricity. If you want growth, if you want to improve the quality of life of people, you need companies and you need electricity. So now we have a capacity of around 2,000 megawatts. And the goal is actually to move to 4,000 megawatts by 2020 in order to supply locally, but also to export, because we do export to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Togo, and sometimes Ghana.
Let's talk about the tourism sector. I mean, it's expected to contribute about 7% to your GDP going forward, from about 4.4% in 2014. Now, of course, what direction is that sector going?
There is a dynamism here that is quite particular. We have a growth that is actually relatively consistent. It's good to say, okay, we want to be a big place for tourism, but if you don't have capacity in a hotel, then you have some constraints. So we did focus a lot on that. We have an investment code that is actually quite generous in terms of advantages that it gives for people that invest. So you have the Azalai group that's actually building something in Abidjan. It's almost done. You have Radisson, they just opened something. It was actually last week, close to the airport of Abidjan. You have the Hilton that is meant to come. You have the Movenpick. So all these big brands are actually coming to Abidjan. Right. It actually shows also that there is demand for capacity for hotel in the country. And I'm a big buyer of Cote d'Ivoire. I'm bullish.